Part 1. The Internal Operating System, Points 135. This section covers the mistakes we make within our own minds before we even interact with the outside world. These are the lies your brain tells you about progress, capability, and happiness. Section 1. The Physics of Progress. Why we quit when we should keep going, and sprint when we should walk. 1. Intensity is not consistency. The trap. You try to fix your life by working out for 4 hours, cleaning the whole house, and reading a book in one day. You burn out by day 3. The truth. Brushing your teeth for 2 minutes twice a day is effective because of consistency, not intensity. You cannot binge success. Implementation. When you feel the urge to do a massive overhaul, stop. Do the minimum viable action that you can repeat every single day for 100 days. 2. The Valley of Disappointment. The trap. You work on a project for 2 weeks and see 0 results. You conclude it's not working and quit. The truth. Results are often delayed. In the early stages of compounding, the line is flat. The most critical growth happens underground, roots, before the plant breaks the surface. Implementation. Visualize an ice cube in a room at 25°F. You heat the room to 26, 27, 28, 29. Still ice. At 32, it melts. The work you did at 28 wasn't wasted, it was stored energy. 3. The gap. Taste versus ability. The trap. You hate your early work, writing, coding, art, because it's bad, so you stop doing it. The truth. You hate your work because your taste is excellent, that's why you got into the field. But your skill hasn't caught up yet. The only way to close the gap is to produce a large volume of bad work. Implementation. Label your early attempts as the vomit draft. Give yourself permission to be bad so you can eventually be good. 4. The 1% rule, marginal gains. The trap. Looking for the silver bullet or the one big break that changes everything. The truth. Improvements generally come from 1,000 tiny adjustments, not one massive change. Improving 1% every day makes you 37x better by the end of the year. Implementation. Stop asking, how do I solve this completely? Ask, what is one tiny thing I can improve by 1% right now? 5. Speed versus velocity. The trap? Being busy. Moving fast. Answering emails, running errands, feeling chaotic. The truth. Speed is distance over time. Velocity is speed in a specific direction. Running in circles has high speed but 0 velocity. Implementation. Before starting a busy day, freeze. Ask, does this move the needle on my one goal? If not, you're just moving fast to avoid the pain of standing still. 6. Action faking. The trap. You spend hours researching, planning, logo designing, and organizing folders. You feel productive. The truth. This is procrastination disguised as work. You are preparing to start, but you haven't started. Implementation. If you haven't produced an output, sent the email, published the post, made the sales call, you haven't worked. Distinguish between motion, planning, and action, doing. 7. Parkinson's Law. The trap. Giving yourself all day to finish a task, and finding that it takes all day. The truth. Work expands to fill the time available for its completion. If you give yourself 4 hours for a 20-minute task, the task will become complex and stressful enough to fill 4 hours. Implementation. Use aggressive, slightly unreasonable deadlines. Force your brain to focus on the essential by removing the luxury of time. 8. The hell yeah or no rule. The trap. Saying yes to mediocre opportunities because you are afraid to miss out, leaving you no time for great opportunities. The truth. If you are moderately interested, the answer is no. Success requires saying no to good things so you can say yes to great things. Implementation. When asked to do something, measure your physical reaction. If it's not an immediate hell yeah, say number 9. Decision fatigue. The trap. Saving your hardest work for the evening after making hundreds of small choices, what to eat, what to wear, emails. The truth. Willpower is a battery. Every decision drains it. By 4 p.m., you are operating on fumes, leading to poor choices and passivity. Implementation. Automate the mundane. Wear the same clothes. Eat the same breakfast. Do the hardest task first thing in the morning. Eat the frog. 10. Motivation is a liar. The trap. Waiting until you feel like it to do the work. The truth. Motivation is an emotion, it is fleeting and unreliable. Discipline is a system. Action leads to motivation, not the other way around. Implementation. Commit to doing the task poorly for 2 minutes. Usually once you start, the motivation kicks in. Section 2. The psychology of self-sabotage. Why we are our own worst enemies and how to trick our brains. 11. The spotlight effect. The trap. You don't take risks because you are terrified of everyone watching and judging your failure. The truth. Nobody is watching you. Everyone is too busy worrying about themselves and their own spotlight. Implementation. Remember your friend's most embarrassing moment. You probably can't, or you don't care. That is how much they care about yours. Be free. 12. Hedonic adaptation. The treadmill. The trap. Believing you'll be happy when I get that promotion or car or house. The truth. You will be happy for about 2 weeks. Then you will return to your baseline level of happiness. You cannot buy permanent satisfaction. Implementation. Fall in love with the process, not the outcome. If you don't enjoy the climb, you won't enjoy the view. 13. Imposter syndrome is a good sign. The trap. You feel like a fraud, so you retreat to your comfort zone. The truth, imposter syndrome only happens when you are pushing your boundaries. If you don't feel it, you are stagnating. Implementation. Reframing anxiety. Say, I feel like an imposter because I am growing into a new role. 14. Sunk cost fallacy. The trap. Finishing a bad book, staying in a bad relationship, or continuing a losing project because you've already put so much time into it. The truth. The time is gone. It is spent. You cannot get it back. Continuing only wastes future time. Implementation. Ask, if I started this today with zero investment, would I buy in? If no, quit immediately. 15. Analysis paralysis. The trap. Thinking that more information will reduce the risk of a decision. The truth. Beyond a certain point, more information just increases anxiety and confusion. Most decisions are reversible. Implementation. Use the 40 or 70 rule. If you have between 40% and 70% of the information, move. Less than 40% is guessing, more than 70% is stalling. 16. The Dunning-Kruger effect. The trap. You learn a little bit and think you are an expert, leading to arrogant mistakes. Or you know a lot and assume it's common sense, leading to underselling yourself. The truth. Beginners overestimate their ability, experts underestimate theirs. Implementation. Stay humble when you start. You don't know what you don't know. Have confidence when you are deep in, you know more than you think. 17. Confirmation bias. The trap. You only read news or listen to opinions that agree with what you already believe. The truth. This creates a fragile worldview that shatters when reality hits. It prevents learning. Implementation. Actively seek out the smartest person who disagrees with you and try to understand their argument. 18. Learned helplessness. The trap. I am just not good at math or relationships or business. The truth. You failed once or twice in the past and internalized it as a permanent identity. Implementation. Add the word yet to your sentences. I am not good at this. Yet. Prove your old narrative wrong with small wins. 19. Negativity bias. The trap. You get 99 compliments and 1 insult. You lie awake at night thinking about the insult. The truth. We are evolved to notice threats, negative things, more than rewards. This is a survival mechanism, not reality. Implementation. You must consciously overweight the positive. Write down 3 wins every evening to balance the scale. 20. The paradox of choice. The trap. You want more options to ensure you make the best choice. The truth. Having too many options leads to anxiety and dissatisfaction, with the final choice, FOMO. Implementation. Artificially limit your options. Pick the first thing that meets your criteria. Satisficing, rather than looking for the absolute best. Maximizing. Section 3. Emotional intelligence and resilience. Handling the inevitable pain of life. 21. You are not your thoughts. The trap. You think a scary or depressed thought and assume it is you. The truth. You are the observer of the thought. The mind generates thoughts like the heart pumps blood. You don't have to engage with every thought. Implementation. Visualize your thoughts as cars passing on a highway. You are sitting on the grass watching them. You don't have to jump in front of traffic. 22. Anger is a secondary emotion. The trap: you lash out in anger and think the anger is the root problem. The truth: anger is usually a bodyguard for a more vulnerable emotion, fear, hurt, or shame. Implementation: when you feel angry, ask, what am I afraid of right now? Or, where was I hurt? Address the root, not the anger. 23. Hanlon's razor. The trap: someone cuts you off in traffic and you assume they are an evil person targeting you. The truth: never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity, or carelessness, or exhaustion. Most people aren't out to get you. They are just oblivious. Implementation: assume the other person is having the worst day of their life. You will instantly feel empathy instead of rage. 24. Jealousy is a map. The trap: you feel guilty or bitter when you see someone else succeed. The truth: jealousy tells you exactly what you want. You aren't jealous of things you don't care about. Implementation: don't suppress jealousy. Use it as data. I am jealous of X because they have Y. Now you know you want Y. Go get it. 25. Suffering comes from resistance. The trap: this should be happening. Why me? The truth: pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Suffering equals pain x resistance. The more you argue with reality, the more you suffer. Implementation: practice radical acceptance. This is happening. It sucks, but it is happening. What is my next move? 26. The broken window theory of habits. The trap: you skip a workout, leave a dish in the sink, and then think, well, the day is ruined, and let everything else slide. The truth: one broken window signals that no one cares, leading to more broken windows. Implementation: fix the broken window immediately. If you miss a morning workout, do 10 push-ups. Do not let the standard slip twice in a row. 27. Self-compassion greater than self-esteem. The trap: trying to keep your self-esteem high requires you to be better than others. It's fragile. The truth: self-compassion is treating yourself like a friend when you fail. It is resilient. Implementation: when you fail, don't berate yourself. Talk to yourself exactly as you would talk to a friend who just failed. 28. Toxic positivity. The trap: forcing yourself to look on the bright side and suppressing negative emotions. The truth: suppressed emotions don't die, they rot. They come out later as anxiety or sickness. Implementation: feel the feeling fully for 90 seconds. Acknowledge it, I am sad. Then, move to problem solving. 29. The narrative fallacy. The trap: looking back at your life, or successful people's lives, and seeing a clean, straight path. The truth: life is messy and random. We invent the story backward to make sense of it. Implementation: stop trying to make your life a perfect movie script. Embrace the chaos. The dots only connect looking backward. 30. Fear setting. The trap: vague anxiety about what if it goes wrong stops you from acting. The truth: defined fears are manageable. Vague fears are paralyzing. Implementation: write down exactly what is the worst thing that could happen. How would you fix it? What is the cost of inaction? Usually, the cost of inaction is higher than the risk of failure. Section IV: managing your energy, not just time. The biological machine. 31. The 80 or 20 rule, Pareto principle. The trap: treating all tasks as equal importance. The truth: 20% of your activities result in 80% of your desired outcomes. The rest is largely busy work. Implementation: identify the top 2 activities that actually drive results. Ruthlessly eliminate or delegate the bottom 80%. 32. Energy management greater than time management. The trap: trying to work 12 hours straight. The truth: you have about 4 hours of deep work cognitive capacity per day. Implementation: protect your peak energy hours, usually morning, for your hardest work. Do admin or low-focus work during your slumps. 33. Sleep is a productivity tool. The trap: ill sleep when I am dead. Staying up late to get more done. The truth: sleep deprivation drops your IQ to that of someone who is intoxicated. You make more mistakes that take longer to fix. Implementation: treat 8 hours of sleep as a non-negotiable business appointment. It is the foundation of your cognitive engine. 34. Multitasking is a myth. The trap: doing 2 things at once to save time. The truth: You are just task switching rapidly. This lowers IQ by 10 points and increases error rates by 50%. Implementation. Single task. Phone away. One browser tab. Finish. Then switch. 35. Input or output asymmetry. The trap. Consuming 5 hours of content, podcasts, books, and doing 0 hours of work. The truth. Passive consumption feels like learning, but it is entertainment. You only learn when you output. Implementation. Maintain a ratio. For every 1 hour of consumption, execute 1 hour of creation or implementation. How to use these notes. Part 1. You cannot read these into your brain. You must condition them. 1. Select one point from this list that hurts the most right now. Example. 6. Action faking. 2. Write it on a post-it note and stick it to your monitor. 3. Practice it for 3 days. Catch yourself doing it. Correct it. 4. Once you see it in real time, pick the next one. End of part 1. Would you like me to proceed to part 2, strategy, decision-making, and professional effectiveness? Here is part 2 of 3 of your comprehensive guide. This section moves from your internal psychology to strategic interaction with the world. These are the frameworks for making better decisions, navigating your career, and dealing with complex systems. Part 2, strategy, decisions, and professional effectiveness, points 36-70. This section covers the mistakes we make when planning our lives and doing our work. These are the tools to stop playing checkers and start playing chess. Section V, strategic thinking chess, not checkers. How to outthink your problems rather than just outworking them. 36. Second-order thinking. The trap. Solving an immediate problem but creating a bigger disaster later. Example. I am tired. I'll drink coffee at 8 p.m. Now I can't sleep. Now I am exhausted tomorrow. The truth. Every action has a consequence, and every consequence has another consequence. First-order thinking is X solves Y. Second-order thinking is, and then what? Implementation. Before any major decision, ask, and then what? 3 times. If the immediate gain leads to long-term pain, don't do it. 37. Inversion. Avoiding stupidity. The trap. Trying to be brilliant and find the perfect solution. The truth. It is easier to avoid stupidity than to achieve brilliance. Many problems are best solved backward. Instead of, how do I help my company succeed? Ask what would destroy my company. And avoid those things. Implementation. Invert the goal. How can I guarantee I stay miserable? Stay inside, eat junk, scroll social media. Now, just avoid those things. 38. The map is not the territory. The trap, confusing the model, a business plan, a theory, a map with reality. The truth reality is messy models are clean. When the map disagrees with the terrain is always right. Don't cling to your plan when reality punches you in the face. Implementation. Use models as guides, not laws. If your perfect diet makes you sick, the diet is wrong, not your body. 39. Circle of competence. The trap. Having an opinion on everything. And investing or acting outside your expertise because you are smart in one area. The truth. Being a genius doctor does not make you a genius stock picker. Moving outside your circle usually leads to disaster. Implementation. Define the perimeter of what you know. Inside the circle, be aggressive. Outside the circle, say I don't know or hire an expert. 40. Probabilistic thinking. The trap. Thinking in binary terms. Will this work? Yes or no? The truth. The future is a range of probabilities. Nothing is 0% or 100%. Implementation. Stop asking will it happen. Start asking what is the probability. If you have a 70% chance of success, take the bet, but prepare for the 30% failure. 41. The flywheel effect. The trap. Starting and stopping. Pushing a heavy wheel one turn, then stopping, then starting a new wheel. The truth greatness comes from compounding momentum. Pushing the same wheel until it spins on its own. Implementation. Don't change strategies every month. Find the thing that builds on itself. Example. Writing content, grows audience, sells product, funds better content. 42. Leverage. Archimedes' lever. The trap. Trying to get 10x results by working 10x harder. The truth. You cannot work 10x harder. There aren't enough hours. You need leverage, code, software. Media, content. Capital, money. Or labor, people. Implementation, ask, how can I do this work once and have it benefit me forever? Example, recording a training video versus training every new hire manually. 43. Asymmetric bets. The trap, taking risks where the downside is equal to the upside. Betting $10 to win $10. The truth, seek bets where the downside is capped. You lose a little time or money, but the upside is unlimited. You change your life. Implementation, writing a blog post, asking for a raise, or cold emailing a mentor. The cost is near zero. The upside could be massive. Take these bets often. 44. Via negativa. Addition by subtraction. The trap. Thinking you need more. More apps, more supplements, more friends to improve your life. The truth. Most improvements come from removing the negative. Health is often the absence of junk food, not the addition of vitamins. Implementation. Before adding a solution, ask what can I remove? Remove the distraction, the toxic friend, the debt. 45. Local maximum versus global maximum. The trap. Getting really good at a skill that doesn't matter much. Climbing a small hill and refusing to go back down to climb a bigger mountain. The truth. Sometimes you have to get worse. Go down the hill to learn a new skill that will eventually take you higher. The mountain. Implementation. Be willing to be a beginner again. If your current career path caps out at $80,000, you might need to take a pay cut to enter a field that caps at $500K. Section 6. Professional effectiveness. How to work smart, get paid, and build a reputation. 46. Be a finisher. The trap. Being known as the idea guy who starts many things. The truth. The world is drowning in starters. It is starving for finishers. Unfinished work has zero value. Implementation. Do not start a new project until the current one is shipped or officially killed. Close the loop. 47. Managing up. The trap. Waiting for your boss to tell you what to do, or complaining they don't understand you. The truth. Your boss is busy and stressed. Your job is to make their life easier. Implementation. Don't bring problems. Bring a problem, plus 2 suggested solutions. Here is the issue. Here are options A and B. I recommend A because. 48. The bus factor. The trap. Hoarding knowledge so you are indispensable. The truth. If you are the only one who can do the job, you can never be promoted. You are trapped. Implementation. Document everything. Automate yourself out of your current job so you are free to take the next one. 49. Specific knowledge. The trap. Competing in a generic field where you are easily replaced. The truth. You want to be the only person who does what you do. This comes from combining 2 unrelated skills. Example. A coder who understands biology. Implementation. Don't just be marketing. Be marketing for B SaaS companies in the healthcare space. The niche is where the money is. 50. The touch it once rule. The trap. Reading an email, thinking about it, closing it, reading it again later. The truth. This wastes massive mental energy reloading the context. Implementation. If you open it, process it. Reply, archive, delegate, or put it on a task list. Never leave it in read, but undecided limbo. 51. Deep work versus shallow work. The trap. Spending 8 hours on Slack or email and feeling exhausted but accomplishing nothing. The truth. Real value comes from 4 hours of uninterrupted concentration. Slack is shallow work. Coding or writing is deep work. Implementation. Schedule 2 blocks of 90 minutes per day with 0 interruptions. Phone in another room. Protect this time with your life. 52. Strong opinions. Loosely held. The trap. Being wishy-washy, maybe we could. Or being stubborn, I am right. The truth. You need conviction to act, but humility to correct course. Implementation. Argue your point, as if you are right, to test the idea. But listen as if you are wrong, to find the truth. When new data arrives, flip immediately, without ego. 53. The three-strike rule for reliability. The trap. Tolerating flakiness in others or yourself. The truth. Reliability is the rarest and most valuable currency in the professional world. Implementation. If you say you will do X by Friday, do X by Friday. If you can't, communicate before Friday. If someone fails you 3 times, stop working with them. 54. Email etiquette, BLUF. The trap. Writing long, winding emails to explain your thought process. The truth. Nobody reads long emails. They scan. Implementation. Use BLUF. Bottom line up front. The first sentence should say exactly what you need. Then use bullet points. If they have to scroll to find the ask, you failed. 55. Meeting hygiene. The trap. Let's meet to discuss X. The truth. Meetings without agendas are time vampires. Implementation. No agenda equals no meeting. If you call the meeting, you must send the goal and reading material beforehand. If the goal is reached in 10 minutes, end the meeting. Section 7. Social dynamics and negotiation. Navigating the human element. 56. Reciprocity. The trap. Asking for favors immediately. The truth. Humans are wired to return favors. If you give value first, people will naturally want to help you. Implementation. Give, ask. Provide value to someone 3 times before you ask for anything. 57. Interest versus position. Negotiation. The trap. Arguing over positions. I want $100,000. I'll give you $80K. The truth. Dig for the interest behind the position. Why do they want to pay $80K? Budget constraints. Fear of precedence. Implementation. Ask why. If they can't pay $100,000 cash, maybe they can give $20,000 in extra vacation or equity. Solve the underlying need. 58. Silence is a weapon. The trap. Filling awkward silences during a negotiation or difficult conversation. The truth. When you speak, you give away information or power. When you are silent, the other person feels pressure to fill the void, often revealing more than they intended or making a concession. Implementation. Make your offer. Then shut up. Count to 10 in your head. Let them squirm. 59. The Ben Franklin effect. The trap. Doing favors for people to get them to like you. The truth. Surprisingly, people like you more when they do a favor for you. It forces their brain to justify why they helped you. I must like them. Implementation. Ask a rival for a small, easy favor. Example. Borrow a book. It breaks the ice and reduces hostility. 60. Use people's names. The trap. Hey. You. The truth. A person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Implementation. Use their name 3 times in the first 5 minutes of meeting them. It builds instant rapport. 61. Listening versus waiting to speak. The trap. Thinking about your witty response while the other person is talking. The truth. People can tell you aren't listening. It breaks trust. Implementation. Practice active listening. Reflect back what they said. So what I hear you saying is, don't offer advice unless asked. 62. Hanlon's razor applied to communication. The trap. Reading a text or email as aggressive or sarcastic. The truth. Text lacks tone. We project our current mood onto the text. Implementation. Always interpret text messages in the most charitable way possible. If unsure, call. 63. The door in the face technique. The trap. Asking for exactly what you want and getting a no. The truth. People feel bad saying no. If they say no to a big request, they are more likely to say yes to a smaller one immediately after. Concession. Implementation. Ask for something big first. That will likely get rejected. Then pivot to your real smaller request. 64. Network equals net worth. The trap. Networking only when you need a job. The truth. That is transaction, not relationship building. Dig the well before you are thirsty. Implementation. Reach out to 3 people a week just to check in, share an article, or say congrats. Ask for nothing. When you eventually need something, your network will be warm. 65. Criticism is feedback. The trap. getting defensive when criticized. The truth, feedback is free consulting. Even if it's delivered poorly, there is usually a kernel of truth. Implementation, say thank you for the feedback. Then go away and evaluate it unemotionally. Discard the hate, keep the data. Section 8, Wealth and Value Creation. The mechanics of money and value. 66. Money follows value. The trap, chasing money directly. How can I get rich? The truth, money is a receipt for value provided. If you want more money, you must solve bigger problems for more people. Implementation, stop looking for hacks, look for problems. The bigger the pain you solve, the more you get paid. 67. Assets versus liabilities. The trap, buying things that look like wealth, cars, clothes, but drain cash. The truth, assets put money in your pocket, stocks, businesses, real estate. Liabilities take money out. Rich people buy assets, poor people buy liabilities. Implementation, before buying, ask, will this purchase generate income or lose value? 68. Permissionless apprenticeship. The trap, waiting to be hired or picked. The truth, you can work for anyone you want without their permission. Implementation, do the work they need done, redesign their landing page, write an article for them, fix a bug, send it to them. I made this for you, no strings attached. This is the fastest way to get hired. 69. Productize yourself. The trap, renting out your time, hourly wage. The truth, you have capped upside. You need to build something that works while you sleep. Implementation, package your unique skill into a product, course, software, book, or a service business that can run without you. 70. The time value of money. The trap, driving 45 minutes to save $10 on gas. The truth, you just sold 90 minutes of your life for $10. That is a wage of $6. 66 or hour. If you value your time at $50 or hour, you lost money. Implementation, calculate your aspirational hourly rate. If a task saves less than that rate, pay someone else to do it or ignore it. How to use these notes. Part 2. We are now moving into the outer world. 1. Pick a trigger. Identify one situation you face often. Example, meetings, emails, or anxiety about the future. 2. Map a rule. Connect it to a rule here. Example, 55 meeting hygiene or 36 second-order thinking. 3. The if-then plan. If I am invited to a meeting without an agenda, then I will reply asking for the goal. End of Part 2. Would you like me to proceed to Part 3, Health, Resilience, and the Good Life? Here is Part 3 of your comprehensive guide. This final section focuses on sustainability and wisdom. You have the mental tools, Part 1, and the strategic tools, Part 2. Now we must ensure your biological machine, body, doesn't break down and that you are climbing the right mountain. Part 3, Health, Resilience, and the Good Life, point 71,100. This section covers the mistakes we make with our physical health and our definition of a good life. These are the things we ignore until it is too late. Section 9, Biological Optimization, the Hardware. You cannot run high-performance software, your mind, on broken hardware, your body. 71. Circadian rhythm entrainment. The trap, looking at your phone first thing in the morning and staying in a dark room until noon. The truth, your brain needs bright light, preferably sunlight, within 30 minutes of waking to set your internal clock. This dictates your energy for the day and your sleep quality that night. Implementation. Get outside for 10 minutes immediately after waking. No sunglasses. If it's dark, turn on every bright light in the house. 72. NEAT greater than the gym. The trap. Sitting for 15 hours and doing a brutal 1-hour workout, thinking you are active. The truth. You are a sedentary athlete. The damage of sitting all day cannot be undone by 1 hour of exercise. Implementation. NET. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Stand up every 20 minutes. Walk while on calls. Take the stairs. Park far away. Aim for constant low-level motion. 73. The food coma is a warning. The trap, eating a heavy lunch, carbs or sugar, and needing coffee at 2 p.m. to stay awake. The truth, brain fog is usually blood sugar instability. A spike in glucose is always followed by a crash in cognition. Implementation, eat for energy, not entertainment. If a food makes you sleepy, it is an allergy to your productivity. Switch to high protein or healthy fats for lunch. 74. Zone 2. Cardio. The base. The trap. Thinking exercise only counts if you are gasping for air and dying. HIIIIT. The truth. You need a base. Zone 2 cardio, effort where you can still hold a conversation, builds the mitochondrial efficiency that powers your brain and recovers your body. Implementation. Do 3-4 hours a week of steady, boring, easy cardio. Brisk walk, slow jog, bike. It feels too easy. That is the point. 75. Nose breathing. The trap. Mouth breathing, especially during sleep or stress. The truth. Mouth breathing triggers the fight or flight stress response. Nose breathing releases nitric oxide, which widens blood vessels and calms the brain. Implementation. Tape your mouth shut at night with safe medical tape. Consciously close your mouth when walking or working. 76. The 20-20-20 rule. Digital eye strain. The trap. Staring at a screen for 4 hours without blinking enough. The truth. This causes headaches, fatigue, and myopia. Your eyes are muscles they need to unflex. Implementation. Every 20 minutes. Look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. 77. Alcohol is a thief. The trap. A drink helps me unwind and sleep. The truth. Alcohol is a sedative, not a sleep aid. It destroys REM sleep. Memory consolidation. You wake up unconscious, not rested. It borrows happiness from tomorrow at high interest. Implementation. If you want high performance, treat alcohol as a rare luxury, not a daily habit. 78. Cold exposure, dopamine management. The trap. Seeking comfort, warm showers, warm rooms, 24/7. The truth. A brief shock of cold raises dopamine levels for hours after the event, increasing focus and mood stability. Comfort breeds fragility. Implementation. End your shower with 30 seconds of pure cold. It sucks. Do it anyway. It trains your brain to override the I don't want to signal. 79. Gut-brain axis. The trap. Treating anxiety or depression solely as a mental issue. The truth. 90% of your serotonin is produced in your gut. If your diet is trash, your mental state will be trash. Implementation. Before you try medication or therapy for a bad mood, try eating fermented foods, kimchi, yogurt, and cutting processed sugar for 2 weeks. 80. Sleep consistency greater than sleep duration. The trap. Sleeping 4 hours on weekdays and 12 hours on weekends, catching up. The truth. You cannot bank sleep. This creates social jet lag, confusing your biology. Implementation. Wake up at the same time every single day, even Sunday. Consistency anchors your sleep drive. Section X. Stoic tools for resilience. How to be unbreakable when life gets hard. 81. The dichotomy of control. The trap. Worrying about the economy, politics, the weather, or what people think of you. The truth. You control your actions and your character. You control nothing else. Worrying about the uncontrollable is insanity. Implementation. Draw a line. If it's outside your control, say, it is nothing to me. Focus 100% of your energy on your reaction. 82. Premeditatio malorum. Negative visualization. The trap. Toxic optimism. Assuming everything will go right, then panicking when it breaks. The truth. Things will break. If you are surprised, you are unprepared. Implementation. Start the day by asking, what will go wrong today? Visualize the flat tire, the angry boss, the lost file. When it happens, you are calm because you've already been there in your mind. 83. Amor fati, love your fate. The trap. I wish this didn't happen. The truth? It did happen. Arguing with the past is futile. Implementation. Don't just tolerate the bad stuff. Love it. This failure is good because it taught me X. This injury is good because I can focus on reading. Turn every obstacle into fuel. 84. The view from above. The trap. Getting consumed by a petty drama or a small mistake. The truth. In the grand scheme of the universe, your problem is microscopic. Implementation. Zoom out. Imagine viewing yourself from the ceiling, then the sky, then space. See yourself as a tiny ant on a rock. Your huge problem suddenly looks manageable. 85. Memento mori, remember you must die. The trap, living as if you have unlimited time. Delaying happiness. Holding grudges. The truth, you are dying. This day will never come again. Implementation. Keep a physical token, a coin, a skull on your desk that reminds you of death. Use it to prioritize, if I die next week, does this argument matter? 86. Voluntary discomfort. The trap, becoming soft. When real hardship hits, you crumble. The truth, you must inoculate yourself against stress. Implementation. Once a week, do something hard for no reason. Fast for 24 hours. Sleep on the floor. Walk in the rain. Prove to yourself that you can survive without luxury. 87. The inner citadel. The trap, letting an insult or a bad email ruin your mood. The truth, external events cannot hurt your mind unless you let them in. You are the gatekeeper. Implementation. Visualize your mind as a fortress. The insult is an arrow hitting the stone wall. It bounces off unless you open the gate and drag it inside. Keep the gate shut. 88. Sympathetic versus parasympathetic control. The trap. Living in chronic fight or flight. Stress. The truth. You can manually switch your nervous system from stress to rest using your breath. Implementation. The physiological sigh. 2 short inhales through the nose, 1 long exhale through the mouth. Do this 3 times to instantly lower your heart rate. 89. Journaling as debugging. The trap. Letting thoughts loop in your head. Ruminating. The truth. The brain is bad at storing thoughts, loops, but good at generating them. Writing stops the loop. Implementation. Do not keep a diary. Use paper to vomit your anxieties. Once they are on paper, your brain feels safe to let them go. 90. The last time meditation. The trap. Taking moments for granted. The truth. There will be a last time you pick up your child. A last time you swim in the ocean. A last time you eat pizza. You often don't know it's the last time until it's gone. Implementation. Treat mundane moments as if they are the final time. You will instantly be present and grateful. Section 11. Wisdom and the good life. Defining the game you actually want to win. 91. The regret minimization framework. The trap. Making decisions based on fear or comfort in the moment. The truth. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. Implementation. Project yourself to age 80. Look back at this decision. Will you regret not doing it? If yes, do it. 92. Ikigai, reason for being. The trap. Chasing money and hating your job, or doing what you love and starving. The truth. A good life sits at the intersection of 1. What you love. 2. What you are good at. 3. What the world needs. 4. What you can be paid for. Implementation. Audit your life. Which of the 4 circles are you missing? Move toward the center. 93. Eudaimonia greater than hedonia. The trap. Thinking happiness is beer, Netflix and beaches, hedonia. The truth. Real satisfaction comes from striving, struggle, and purpose. Eudaimonia. Humans are built to hunt, not to be fed. Implementation. Stop trying to relax your way to happiness. Pick a heavy load and carry it. 94. Comparison is the thief of joy. The trap. Scrolling Instagram and feeling inadequate. The truth. You are comparing your behind-the-scenes, messy reality with their highlight reel, curated perfection. It is a rigged game. Implementation. Compare yourself only to who you were yesterday. If you are better than that person, you are winning. 95. The Tetris effect. The trap. Scanning the world for problems to fix or things to complain about. The truth. Your brain finds what it scans for. If you play Tetris for hours, you see blocks everywhere. If you scan for negatives, you see a negative world. Implementation. Force your brain to scan for the positive. Every night, write down 3 specific good things that happened. Rewire your scanner. 96. Finite games versus infinite games. The trap. Trying to win at marriage, business, or life. The truth. These are infinite games. The goal is not to win, end the game, the goal is to keep playing. Implementation. Stop trying to beat your spouse. The goal is to keep the relationship going. Stop trying to win business. The goal is to stay in business. 97. The airport test. The trap. Holding on to clutter and baggage, mental and physical. The truth. We are weighed down by things we don't need. Implementation. Imagine you have to move to a new country tomorrow and can only take what fits in 2 suitcases. What do you take? That is what matters. Everything else is just stuff. 98. Compound interest on knowledge. The trap. Reading random articles that expire next week. News. The truth. Read things that will still be true in 100 years. Philosophy, psychology, biology. Implementation. Lindy effect. If a book has been in print for 50 years, it will likely be relevant for another 50. Read the classics. Build a library of timeless wisdom. 99. You are the average of the 5 people you spend time with. The trap. Trying to be a high performer while hanging out with cynics and complainers. The truth. Mirror neurons are real. You absorb the emotions and standards of those around you by osmosis. Implementation. Audit your circle. Who drains you? Who inspires you? Spend 10% less time with the drainers and 10% more time with the inspirers. 100. Action is the answer. The trap. Reading this list of 100 things and feeling productive. The truth. Knowing is not doing. If you read this and change nothing, you have wasted your time. Implementation. Close this chat. Pick one thing. Do it immediately. Final summary and implementation guide. You now have a user manual for your life across 3 domains. 1. Internal. How you think. Points 135. 2. External. How you act and strategize. Points 3670. 3. Sustainability. How you endure. Points 71,100. The high-value recall protocol. Do not try to memorize 100 things. You will fail. 1. The weekly audit. Every Sunday, scan this list. 2. The diagnosis. Find the one mistake you made most often this week. Example. I did a lot of action faking. 3. The prescription. Write that one rule on your hand or lock screen for the next 7 days. 4. Repeat. Wisdom is not a destination. It is a practice. Go.